What's up, y'all? Chris. Some late UFC 185 afterthoughts. Didn't have time to do it last night. The event ran long. Had to when I got home. Then I had to watch some boxing, HBO boxing, which thankfully people on Twitter gave me a heads up to skip the first few fights. Otherwise, I'd probably still be watching that night of fights. But yeah, just didn't have time to do it. And I wasn't even going to do an afterthoughts vid because I didn't get a lot of feedback on my predictions vid for this event. But my guy Jay Paul, he had been texting me earlier this week about the main event and the co-main event, saying that Joanna Jędrzejczyk was going to beat Esparza, and telling me that people were overlooking Dos Anjos and he had a good chance to beat Pettis. And I was disagreeing with them, telling me, Pettis is on another level, this and that. And obviously he was texting me through the event and afterwards. So I had to give my dude credit where it's due because he called both those fights. He didn't pick Dos Anjos, I don't think, but he said he had a chance, and obviously he showed he did, man. Just a surprising result. Not just that Dos Anjos won, which was surprising in itself, but the way he did it. Dominated Pettis from the beginning of the fight to the end, all 5 rounds. Just absolutely shut him down. Not only on the ground, but in the stand-up as well. Just didn't see it happening. Didn't envision it happening, I should say. I said before this that Pettis was must-see TV, but he wasn't must-see in this fight, man. He just never really got in his game, Dos Anjos was super aggressive. Kept him against the cage. Kept him on the defense. And dominated him. Even at the very end of the fight, the 5th round, when Pettis got up towards the end of the round, and it's like, okay, here's your one last chance. Maybe pull off a miracle, even though it seemed unlikely at that point. He ended up getting back to the against the fence and taking it down again. So Dos Anjos is at his number, man. And Dos Anjos is on a roll. Wins over Henderson, Nate, and Pettis. Dominant wins at that. Most likely he's going to fight Khabib next if Khabib beats Cowboy, and it's going to be a rematch. And Dos Anjos has improved a lot since their first fight, I think. Khabib may have his numbers style-wise, but looking forward to that rematch if it takes place. I think it'd be more competitive than a rematch between Dos Anjos and Cowboy, even though I'm a fan of Cerrone. As far as the co-main event of the night, new champion, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, just beat the shit out of Carla Esparza. It looked like if it was a high school senior fighting a freshman. She just big brother, big sister, I guess, in this instance. Esparza got 1 takedown in the first round, and I thought, okay, this is the fight I envisioned. But Jędrzejczyk got up and beat that ass. Honestly, I really enjoyed this fight. Not that I enjoy watching women get hit per se, but something about watching her just absolutely turn Esparza from champ into a fighter who you could see the fear. You could see she was scared after a while. It was just pretty amazing. Although Esparza, walking in the cage during the introduction, man, no expression at all. She just looked like she wasn't even there, like she didn't want to be there. She sure as hell didn't want to be there at the end of the fight. But good win for Jędrzejczyk. I think she's better as a champ, better personality, more charisma, more exciting style. If Claudia Gadelha wins her next fight, I definitely could see a rematch because their first fight was close. And I thought Gadelha actually won that fight, so looking forward to that rematch if it takes place. Johnny Hendricks, Matt Brown. Not much to say about this one. Hendricks dominated. Used the wrestling. I wish he wouldn't want to use the wrestling so much because he was actually getting the better of his stand-up at times, but for some reason he decided to resort to the wrestling. It was effective. Pretty dominant win for him. Not his best performance, but an effective one, and he'll probably fight to the winner of Lawler McDonald. Roy Nelson, Alistair Overeem. Shout out to YouTube user Zoop the Zombie Killer. He called this one Alistair Overeem by decision. I think Alistair could have finished him. Roy, he landed some vicious kicks to the body, some flying knees, some brutal shots, but just doesn't have that killer instinct. I think it's because he's always worried about getting caught or possibly, getting hit and getting shook himself. Which happened at the end of the fight. Even though he's in full control, he still got dropped at the end of the fight. I'm like, oh man, again? But Roy Nelson, for some reason, decided to go for a takedown instead of trying to finish him on with strikes, and Alistair was able to stop that and take it to the decision where he won. Good performance by Alistair Overeem, though. Love to see him finally fight Junior Dos Santos. And opening the pay-per-view, Henry Cejudo dominating Chris Carriazo. I like seeing the Cejudo fight. I read his autobiography, a couple years ago before he got into MMA. Interesting book. If you don't really know much about him, it's a good thing to learn about. It's a good way to learn about him and possibly become a fan or interested in watching his fights like I am now. Anyways, overall good event though. Obviously, some surprising results, mostly in the main event. But good night of fights overall. Anyways, want to hear your thoughts on this event? We're thinking about the main event, the co-main event, and other fights. Thoughts in general. Link to Twitter and Instagram as always. Till next time, I'm out.